Okay. Okay. Sorry, I want to just make sure that the voice I want to just join with another line so that the voice is sharp as well. I'm going to just join in 1 second now, please. Let me just mute this one.
Okay. So I'm sure everyone can hear me now.
Yes, I can.
Okay, yes, okay. So yes, once again, thank you very much for having me. I want to speak very quickly on visualization and how we can practice visualization in effectively for to get the kind of results that we want. Right. So I want to start by saying what is visualization? Visualization is the art of imagining or having a picture in your mind, mhm, and fixing your gaze or your focus on it till it begins to affect the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act, and the kind of things that happen to you. I'll take it again. Visualization is the art of fixing your gaze on a particular image in your mind till it begins to affect the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act, uh, and the kind of things that happen to you in terms of the kind of things that you manifest in your life. Now, I want to talk about we should why we should um, visualize. And I want to tell you a story, please. This story is a real life story that involves the greatest photographer alive or the best photographer alive. And his name is Sebastio Salgado. Sebastio Salgado. He told this story himself in one of his TED Talks. He told this story himself to tell you how powerful visualization is. He said that after a time in his life, he started to ejaculate blood. After a certain point in his life, he started to ejaculate blood. And he went to the doctor, and the doctor examined him head to toe. And the doctor said, I cannot find anything wrong with you. Anything wrong with you. You're ejaculating blood, but I can't find anything wrong with you. And the doctor said, I know what is happening to you. He says that you have seen a lot of blood. And because you have seen a lot of blood, you are not ejaculating blood. Now, what did the doctor mean? The doctor was trying to explain that because he's a photographer and he's a genocide photographer. So a genocide photographer is somebody that goes to places that have witnessed genocide and he takes pictures. So because you have seen a lot of blood, it's now affecting you and you are now ejaculating blood. And he said, you know what? What you need to do is that you need to stop going to those places. And if you stop going to those places, you will become normal. Can you see what happened? Because he was seeing a particular thing, he began to produce or ejaculate it, what he was seeing. That's how powerful visualization is. I can share many stories and I will share a couple of them, but just tell you how powerful visualization is. I'm going to share a second story with you, and I will mention names that you can fact check me with. Now, the name of the second person is Laszlo Polga. Laszlo Polga. Now, this man was reputed to be one of the greatest parents of all time. Do you know why? Before he gave birth to his children, before he gave birth to his children, he said that the children he would give birth to would be chess grandmasters. Can you imagine that? That, in fact, he said there will be great chess grandmasters, not just great chess grandmasters. And he said he was going to prove it that geniuses are not born, geniuses are made. Please go and Google this person I'm talking to you about. Laszlo Polgar, Lazlo, Polgar, Polgar. He said he will convince a woman to marry him and tell the woman that the reason I'm marrying you is that I want to prove it, that geniuses are not born, geniuses are made. And this man convinced a woman to marry him. And he said that I'm going to prove it. I will have 3 daughters or 3 children. And those 3 children will be chess grandmasters. To cut a long story short, he had 3 children. Susan Polgar, Sophia Polgar, and Judith Polgar. You can Google the names of these people one more time. Susan Polgar, Sophia Polgar, and Judith Polgar. The 3 children became chess grandmasters. The 3 of them, you can Google all of them. And then the last born, Judith Polgar, became the greatest female chess player of all time. The greatest female chess player of all time. But guess what? This man used visualization. And what did he do? One of the things he did is that he made sure that they were seeing chess. There were chess boards everywhere in the house. In the sitting room, in their bedrooms, everywhere there were chess boards. So from a young age, they grew up looking at chess everywhere. Looking at chess everywhere. Now, was that the only thing they did? No. They learned how to play chess. So they were not just looking at chess. They actually played chess from a young age. But one of the things he used was visualization. 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 They saw. They saw. They saw it. So what you look at or what you see is very, very important and is very, very powerful. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is that there are 2 types of images. There are images that are externally generated and images that are internally generated. I will explain. Images that are externally generated and images that are internally generated. What do I mean? Let's start with externally generated images. For example, you want to buy a new house. You go on Google Images and you Google houses. Pictures come out. You pick the one that you like, your favorite. And then you print it out. You put it on your cupboard. You put it on your screensaver. You put it on your WhatsApp DP. You put it on your bedside. You put it on your office. You put it in your kitchen. You put it in your sitting room. You put it everywhere. It's an image you generated externally, but you now want to internalize it. And that is very, 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 very powerful. It's very powerful. It works. However, I can share many testimonies with you of people that placed images before them. That's okay. This is what some people, it was something material. Okay. For some people, it was a goal that they set. How many of you heard the testimony that Samuel Adeyemi, Pastor Reverend Sam Adeyemi shared some days ago? How many of you heard that testimony? Let me just share it very quickly. He said in 1998, he wrote what he wanted. He wanted a Mercedes-Benz. I think it was ash green or something like that, ash green. And he pasted it on his bed. And guess what happened? At that now, the car cost 400,000 naira. 400. And guess what? Oh, he wrote the color down. Oh. He didn't just say, I want a Mercedes-Benz boots padded. I want ash green, the color. Huh? Now, something happened. He had a car that he sold for 150,000 naira. Huh? And then he and his wife decided to give out 50,000 naira as a seed. Then something happened. He had a meeting, a dinner meeting with Pastor Paul Adefarasi, 1998, everybody. 1998 is over 20, about 27 years ago, 27 years. In that meeting, Pastor Paul Adefarasi said, I want to sign a check for you. He called his assistant to bring his checkbook. You know, those days, in 1998, there was no transfer now, so the check. So he brought the checkbook. Then he noticed that, Reverend Sam said he noticed that as Pastor Paul Adefarasi wanted to write, he was hesitant. So guess what? Reverend Sam Adeyemi said that he thought he would write a check of 10,000 or 20,000. At that time, that was money then. That was money. Then he noticed he was hesitant. Then he said, maybe he's going to increase it to maybe like 50,000 naira. Guess what? Pastor Paul Adefarasi wrote him a check of 400,000 naira. That's not the end of the story. Hold on. He now went to, was it Festac or Mile 2, somewhere to where they sell Tokumbo cars. And then he saw the kind of car, exact car he wanted. And this car the color was blue. And he said, okay, please hold this car for me. I'm going to come and pay for it tomorrow. By the time he had come the next day, they said brand new cars had arrived. Sorry, it's not brand new cars, new Tokumbo cars had arrived. Guess what? They said that, sir, some new cars have arrived, and there's one that we think you may like. Guess what? They brought a car. Guess the color of this car? The same color he wrote down and he pasted on his wall. It was ash green. And it was the exact car, exact color he said he had imagined that he wanted. So, like I said, I can share stories upon stories upon stories that we won't leave this place today. But I want to talk about images that you generate internally. I spoke about external images. External images. That is, you can just see something. You can see something. For example, I can go out today and see a particular kind of car or a particular kind of house and say, that house, I like it too. I'm going to take a picture of that house and then paste the picture all over my house. I can go to Banana Island and see a particular mansion. That is a picture that was externally generated. I saw it externally, and then I am now trying to internalize that, which is very good. Those is very good. But I want to tell you about something that is superior to this. Superior to this. That is, you can generate a picture in your heart internally. That is, there's no reference point for it on the external. There's no reference point at all. So I know people who grew up in abusive homes. They grew up in abusive homes, but they generated a picture of themselves internally that I am going to create a home that is a peaceful home. I mean, I have a friend. He grew up in a polygamous home. He lives in Wembley. He told me that, Komi, I will never have anything to do with polygamy. And today, up to today, he has nothing to do with polygamy. Why? What am I trying to say? It's possible for you to be saying something on the outside, but you create a picture on the inside. And that picture on the inside prevails over what you see on the outside. That is, what you see, the picture that you have created on the inside of you is what you manifest on the outside, regardless of what you had seen on the outside. I hope we understand. I hope we understand. But I will teach you the principles, please. No, please. Now, please follow me. Apart from me having friends that grew up in abusive homes, apart from me having friends that grew up in polygamous homes, I know people who grew up in abject poverty, but they put a picture in their mind. They put a picture in their mind that this is who I am going to become. I'll give you an example. Tumininu, please, whenever you want me to stop, let me know. Sorry. Whenever you want me to stop, let me know.
Okay, sir, I'm with you.
Okay. Just let me know so that I don't go and overspend my time. Now, there's a man called Richard Williams. I'm sure some of you know him, the father of Venus and Serena Williams. Yeah. They grew up in abject poverty, but the man had a picture in his mind. My two children are going to become the best tennis players in the world. They are going to become the best tennis players in the world. And then that picture in his mind prevailed over what he was seeing on the outside. The rest is history. Today, Venus and Serena are amongst the two greatest tennis players in history, with Serena Williams becoming the greatest ever tennis player of all time. She beats the likes of Martina Navratilova, beats the likes of Billie Jean King, beats the likes of Martina Hingis, and so on and so forth. So what I'm trying to say is this, I'll put it to you, that pictures that are generated internally are even superior to pictures that are generated externally. For example, let me tell you something. Walt Disney created Disneyland. What picture did they see on the outside? There was no reference points. The Wright brothers created the airplane. What picture? There was no reference points. There was no reference points. There was altogether no reference points. No reference points. Now, let me tell you how things are generated, internally generated pictures come about. I'll share some stories with you. When I was in Unilag, I saw a picture one day of a church. I saw a picture of a church. And I see a lot of these pictures. Let me even start with this one. When this one was a picture I saw when I'd already started pastoring. This was in 2008. So give or take, say some 15 years ago. 17 years ago. Now, I was pastoring in Redemption Camp, not even in Lagos. I was pastoring a church in Redemption Camp. And one day I saw a picture of a biology teacher in my church. This was a man that he was a member of my parish, and he was a biology teacher. Now, this day I was not praying for him. I was not thinking about him. I was not praying for him. I wasn't thinking about him. I was just doing my own simple meditation. But something happened. I saw a vision of this man. He was a biology teacher. Please flow with me. He was a biology teacher. In this vision, I saw him teaching biology using day-to-day illustrations that people could relate to. So it's just like somebody teaching biology using the latest jokes in town or the latest events in town. Somebody teaching biology using the latest gossip in town, like for example, Judy K, Mercy Chinwo, and Easy. Have you ever seen anything like that? Somebody using easy to understand principles to teach biology. I just saw this picture in a glance. I saw somebody using pictures, teaching biology, using images that people could get enraptured with. And guess what? In this picture, I saw that children began to fall in love with biology. Children or the students became enraptured with biology. Why? Because he was using things that were people. He was teaching biology like never before, like was never before thought, things that people could relate with. Now, in this picture that I saw, hello, everybody, please run with me. In this picture that I saw, the pass rate of biology in the school was about 60%. But as this man was teaching biology like never before, in a unique manner, the pass rate of biology went from 60% to 90%. That is, the average student scored 90% in biology. Now, in this picture that I saw, this man became so good at biology teaching that teachers used to attend his classes. That is, teachers teaching subjects like social studies, elementary science, current affairs. teaching mathematics, English, French, biology, other subjects, began to attend his classes because his popularity grew in leaps and bounds. But please, everybody, run with me. Oh, please, flow with me. Flow with me. Flow with me. In this picture that I saw, this man began to get invites to speak at teacher conferences all around the world. So he will speak at a teacher conference in Rio de Janeiro, speak at a teachers conference in Warsaw, speak at a conference in Croatia, speak at teachers conferences all around the world. Costa Rica today, Canada tomorrow. A biology teacher. In this picture that I saw, this man wrote books on biology, textbooks on biology that became recommended books in continents around the world. So this man wrote textbooks on biology that were read by millions, bought by millions of students all around the world. So just imagine somebody is a biology teacher and he authors a textbook on biology and he sells 6 million units. Let's even say he makes only $1 per book and the book sells 6 million units. So he's making $6 million on book sales alone, on book sales. Now, why am I telling you these stories? Everybody, please listen to me. Why am I telling you these stories? I'm telling you because I wasn't thinking about biology. I wasn't thinking about the church, the member of my church. I was on my own. I was like, they would say, my own jeje. And I saw this picture. I will tell you one more picture that I saw. Hello, everybody. Please just flow with me. I was doing my own meditation one day on my own. And I saw a Baba in my church. And this Baba was babbing with 2 hands. It was a picture I saw. This Baba was babbing with 2 hands. And he could barb and inscribe any kind of picture or image on somebody's head. I've never seen Baba babbing with 2 hands before. And then doing it with so much excellence and so much inch perfect precision. But guess what? He was so good at what he was doing that his babbing alone became a tourist attraction. Hello? Did you hear what I said? A Baba will barb, and his babbing became a tourist attraction. That is, people will come from all around the world to watch this guy barb. Now, everybody, I have seen many pictures in my career of things that are not related to me. I'm not a biology teacher. I'm not a barber. I have seen, if I start sharing some of them with you, we will not leave this place. But what am I trying to say? I want to show you a principle that the pictures that you see or come out of your heart are even superior to the pictures that you see physically. The pictures that you see with no reference points, to them. So somebody can just sit down. There's a man called Jeff Hinton. How many of you, does anybody here know who Jeff Hinton is in 2 seconds? 2 seconds. Anybody? Do you know, if you know who Jeff Hinton is, if you can speak in 2 seconds, I will give you a special gift. Jeff Hinton. In 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds is over before people go and Google it. Now, Jeff Hinton is the father of artificial intelligence. He's still alive. He's still very much alive. He's the father of artificial intelligence. Father of artificial intelligence. Sorry, if the picture of my face goes up, it's just because of a slight issue, but you can still hear me because I'm speaking also from my a second gadget, and I will join you short. But you could still hear me, and if you don't hear me, please let me know.
We're hearing you loud and clear, sir.
Okay, now Jeff Hinton woke up one day and saw a picture of electronic devices having the brain of human beings, or being able to think like human beings. He went to many American universities and told them that I visualize something. I can visualize, I can see something. It's called artificial intelligence. Nobody listened to him. He had to leave America and go to Canada until he was accepted by University of Toronto. Today, he's worked for Google. He's the father of modern day artificial intelligence because he saw a picture, he visualized something. Now, this leads me to the next point I want to make. And please, everybody, please take note of what I'm about to say. Words internally intensified become images. Images internally intensified become experiences. Please write it down. I'll say it again. Words intensely internalized become images. Images intensely internalized become what? Experiences. One of the ways you can visualize is through the power of your words. Your words are actually pictures in a different format. It's just like water can be steam. H2O can be steam. It can be liquid. It can be ice. Words are actually pictures in a variegated form. Because you wonder, how can a young guy, be speaking or doing meditation, private meditation, and he sees a picture of a biology teacher? And guess what? Do you know that I called this biology teacher? I actually called him. I said, you know what? I was doing simple meditation and I saw a picture of you. I said, I saw a picture of you. And I told him this way. I said, have you ever visualized yourself like this? Have you ever visualized yourself like this? And he said, no. But do you know why I was able to see those pictures? Because I was speaking words and I was intensely internalizing them. Those words became images. And if this, my friend, would take those words or those pictures and intensely internalize them, they will become what? Experiences. So I'll say it to you again. Visualization can become experiences. Visualization can become experiences. Visualization can become your real life experience. However, this is the protocol. Words or pictures that you intensely internalize become images, and images that you intensely internalize become experiences. That's the protocol. Words, images, images, experiences. Words become images, images become experiences. Words become images. Do you know that if I tell you about a pink Lamborghini, the first thing you do is to visualize a pink Lamborghini? Why? Because words are actually images in itself, if you look at it in real detail. If I tell you about a purple cow now, you will visualize a purple cow. As funny and as obscure, as ridiculous as it may sound, a purple cow, you will visualize it. If I tell you about snake meat shawarma, you will visualize shawarma and snake meat, as ridiculous as it is. Now, I am saying to you that even if you don't have a reference point on the outside, if everything you are going through in life is a complete antithesis of what you want, you can start the recreation process by using the protocol of take words. The problem with most people is that they are not patient enough to intensely internalize it till it becomes an image, and then be patient until that image intensely becomes what? An experience. So the problem with most people is they lack what? Patience. They lack patience. And that's what? Consistency. They lack that consistency. They lack that consistency. So, guess what? I have memorized 14 books of the Bible. 14 books of the Bible. 14 books of the Bible. Guess what? I am going to memorize the entire Bible. Why? I visualized it. But guess what? I visualized it in the place of intensely internalizing words. I will say to myself, I'm one of the greatest Bible teachers of all time, period. And there's nothing wrong. Greatness is not a sin. It's not a sin. It's not a sin at all. that you want it to become great, but but if you keep on saying this thing, guess what? I have affirmations I take every 3 hours. That's every 3 hours of the day. And there are 8 3-hour windows every day. 8 of them, 3-hour windows every day. In each of those 3-hour windows, I take affirmations. I take affirmations. Why am I saying this? Whatever you predominantly think of, you attract. Listen to me, everyone. You don't attract what you think of. That is wrong. If anybody tells you that you attract what you think of, they are right at all. If they are right at all, they are right only on the surface. But I want to tell you the science of this thing, you don't attract what you think of, and I'll show you in practical terms. You attract what you predominantly think of. And I'll tell you the difference. There is no failure. There's no poor person in life who has never thought of being rich. There is nobody who is a poor man who has never thought of being rich. And guess what? There is no successful person in life who has never thought of failure. There is no successful person. Listen to me. I have studied over 1,000 biographies. I have studied in every field. So in Formula One, I've studied up to 10 biographies. Basketballers, I've studied more than 100 biographies. Footballers, maybe more than 200. Rappers, I've studied more than 500 rappers. Corporate CEOs, I've studied organizations, Fortune 500, I've studied over 500 of them. There is no successful person who has never thought about failure or thought about failure. But do you know the defining factor? Successful people predominantly think about success, and failures predominantly think about failure. So it's about, what do you predominantly think about? What do you predominantly visualize? And that's why I keep on advising people that I coach, people that I speak to. I say, please, you should do this repeatedly. That is, I even say that in every 3-hour window, take at least between 2 and 10 minutes to visualize. At least, it could be more than that, but at least 2 to 10 minutes to visualize. 2 to 10 minutes to visualize. 2 to 10 minutes to visualize. 2 to 10 minutes to visualize every 3-hour window. Guess what? Because I want to show you how the brain works, and then I'll stop here. When you start to predominantly think about a thing, Tuminino, do you want me to stop?
No, once you round up with this, yes, you can.
Okay. Yes, okay. Once you predominantly think about a thing, I'll show you how the brain works. You have what you call stem cells. A stem cell in your brain is a cell that produces new cells. Now, in our brain, we produce 10,000 stem cells every day. Everybody, please listen to this. You produce 10,000 stem cells every day. 10,000. Guess what? 5,000 of those cells go to the part of your brain that is most dominant. Listen to me. 5,000 go to the part of your brain that is most dominant. So let's perform an experiment. Just flow with me. Let's say there is a particular man who spends most of the day being anxious. The part of the brain that he will be most dominant is the anxiety center of his brain, a part of the brain called the amygdala. Now, what will happen? 5,000 stem cells go to that part of that brain to make it larger. So what you see, that a man that spends the most of a particular day in anxiety will find out that his amygdala will become larger over the course of that day. The next day, his amygdala is larger, so he will find himself effortlessly becoming anxious. The anxiety will become more. It will increase. That's how people go from tension to hypertension. There's nobody that becomes hypertensive overnight. Nobody. It starts with, first of all, you start becoming tensive, then you become predominantly tensive. Once you become predominantly tensive, you go from tension to hypertension. Let me tell you something. The same way you can become predominantly creative. You can go from being creative to becoming predominantly creative. You can, and that's why I tell you that if you want to create an atmosphere where you manifest what you visualize, it has to become predominant. And the way for you to become predominant is to make it a repeated a repetitive fixture throughout your 24-hour day, and make it a habit. Make it a repeated fixture in your 24-hour day. I advise people, set an alarm. Have a visualization alarm on your phone every 3 hours. If you don't have it on your phone, before I leave now, pick your phone and set a visualization alarm every 3 hours. Let it go. If you do this stubbornly for 7 days, stubbornly, let me tell you, even if you don't visualize anything, let that alarm just begin to give you a culture shock. If you do it predominantly, you will see that it will become part of you. You begin to visualize certain things. You begin to visualize certain things. After a while, your visualization becomes effortless. The final thing I'll say, sorry, just because of time. When you get to the point that even in your sleep, what you visualize begins to repeatedly appear, you are very close to manifesting it. The biggest question people have in visualization is, when will it happen? Let me tell you something. I've coached hundreds of people. The biggest question, even if people don't say it, is if people can track when it will manifest, the same way they can track their Amazon packages, or they can track, let me tell you something, everybody in life will take this thing seriously. The biggest problem is that people don't know when. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest pointers to your when is when, even in your tense moments, if you can visualize in your tense moments or in your sleep repeatedly, you are getting close to manifesting it. All right, so let me do this. Because of time, we can continue this discourse maybe in future. So, you can drop my details with them, your team, and maybe we can invite me some other time, But visualization is a very, very broad topic, and there are salient points that I just wanted to bring out today. And I will also do some more videos on visualization, short videos on my YouTube channel, and share them with you. But it's a topic that you could break down for hours on ending, and you will not even exhaust it. But I hope with these few points I have shared, you understand. If you have questions, you can also send me either an email or a message. You can send a message to me. If you can ask to me, you can get my details from hand, just send, and I will answer your questions. If you have maybe 2 minutes for a question, anybody has a question, no problem. Or otherwise, we can continue the discourse at some other time. God bless you.
Wow, woo! Thank you, Coach. I told you that if you listen to my coach, there is no time I listen to Coach Kami and I am not inspired. Like, I've started praise or prayer, and I've been saying it. My life cannot be wasted. I was trying to drop as much as possible, and we'll be taking it further. When he was talking about there are people that visualized without precedence. They did not see it. Walt Disney did not see it. Walt Disney is long gone. But what he saw is what people are still building on. The Wright brothers, they never saw it. Nobody gave them a precedence. And when people now tell me that this clinical will not be better, that clinical will not be better, what are we seeing? And my prayer for every one of us on this call is we are going to see correctly, not just for ourselves, but for the next generation. My second speaker coach is already on the line, Paul Foh. I don't know if anybody has a question. Do you want to just quickly raise your hand? Hey! That is Coach Foh. Thank you so much, Coach Kami. Kami was actually supposed to go up by 6. So I was looking at the time and I knew he had another session by 6. That's why I really didn't want to. Okay, Tony, you want to ask a question in 1 minute? Okay, so she's silent. Please, we can take it up. You guys have my contact, and I will reach out to Coach Kami for sake of time. We are talking about visualization. I don't know where I will start from Coach Foh, and I'm sure it has a lot to say about visualization. Though, as a salesman, I brought him in to talk about journaling, and I've been chasing him for I think close to 2 years now. So this is one thing I've visualized that has come true. Let me tell you about Coach Foh. and I will hand over the baton to him. So let that be his introduction. You know, I can decide to start doing intro. He's the member of Forbes. He's this. I now be doing wow, 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 wow. I want this to be very practical. When I wanted to launch my book, I was filled with lots of fears. And I dare say everybody's afraid. I'm an engineer. I had my first degree in engineering. I'd never written a book before. And my ambition, I do not lie, was that, if I can sell 200 books, 200 copies, Nigeria will not rest. That was my definition of success. And as at that point, I did not even have the capacity to, as if you tell me to know how will you sell 200 books, I did not know how to sell 200 books. So I now thought within my circle, who is the best salesman? Because you'll be seeing another side of him, but this is sales part. He has a WhatsApp group. I've been sharing it to all and sundry. That is WhatsApp group. If you are not joined for post sales WhatsApp group, you are sleeping on a bicycle. Because you must learn how to sell yourself. If you are not selling something, you are sleeping on a bicycle. Peter to Coach Paul. And I said, Coach Paul. And remember, my target was that I wanted to sell 200 books. And the first thing he will tell me is, if you are not ready to sell 1,000 books, I cannot work with you. I said, shoo, me, that I'm looking for how to sell 200, somebody is not telling me it has to be 1,000. Like, you are talking about 5x of your target. We just spoke about visualization and bringing it forth. I sold over 1,000 copies with ease. Over 1,000 copies with ease. As in, my husband, I hope he's listening to this, he got jealous. He said, now like this, they sell book. Means I want sell book. Oh. I said, follow who no road. Follow who no road. So, read family. With maximum excitement. I want you people to help me welcome my coach, my ginger super coach. The one that helps bring visualization come to pass. And I know he has quite a bit to tell us. So let me tell you about Coach Paul Foh. This Coach Paul Foh that you are seeing looking fresh like today's butter. At some point, he was selling recharge card. But these principles we are talking about here is what has made these great men. And I'm so grateful to them that they are sharing with us 2025 January, so that this year will not be like other years for you. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you so much, Coach, for making out time out of your extremely busy schedule. We do not take it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Let me clean this thing up. All right. Good evening, everybody. Yeah. I am very happy to be here. Tumi, thank you so much for having me. I'm very grateful. I just want to double check. Can everybody hear me?
Loud and clear.
Great. I really enjoyed the gentleman that spoke earlier. I mean, fantastic job. Can we give him another round of applause? This is the first time I'm hearing him. I thought that was brilliant. That was really, 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 really brilliant. Before we go any further on the subject of visualizing and all those stuff, I want to recommend a book for everybody here to go and read. I'm currently reading a book called, I read 33 books a year. So I'm currently reading a book called The Complete Reader by a man called Neville Goddard. He's a father of this movement of visualization. The book was written in the 1950s or 1960s. It's 1,000-page. But if you start reading that book, it is a compilation of all his works. You will thank me later. That's the book I want to recommend for you to start to read. It's a science of visualization. It's very, very powerful. So, visualization and writing down your goals. So let's get into it. We all know the power of the mind and what visualization can do. My name is Paul Foh, by the way. I run a company called Sales Factory Global. We are a sales training company and a media business. We've got offices in England and offices in Lagos. So I shuttle between London and Lagos. I'm currently not in my studio. I'm outside the UK doing some work, so I'm in a hotel. So I want you to open up your heart. You would learn a lot of things on tonight. We are who we are because of what we think. Our thoughts actually become our reality. The first place to change the reality outside that you live in is to change the predominant and consistent thoughts that you accommodate in your head every single day. I will share some personal examples with you all that I have used visualization and writing down of goals to become a reality. I don't know about you, but I write down my goals every single day. Yes, Neville Goddard. I write down my goals every single day. There's a scriptural part of it that says that I have come to fulfill that which was written about me in the volume of the books. So it's a new year, and many people write down their goals just once. I love what the gentleman was saying. He says that habituate it. So I write down my goals every single day. But here's the way I write it. I write the goal in reverse. For example, every property I have bought, my wife and I, in Lagos or outside Nigeria, every property, we always write the goal like this. I am grateful and happy that I now have. I don't write I'm going to. No, I don't. I write I am now a landlord collecting XYZ amount of money in rent. Because it's a good way to deceive your brain. God is not about to do anything. Everything has been done. Everything you're looking for is already in existence right now. So what you're doing, you're writing your goal in reverse as if you have already accomplished it. Now, when you start writing your goals in that reverse, it changes your consciousness. Because really, you attract what you are most conscious of. And then you read that goal to yourself or write it down to yourself every day. It's important because by the repetition of that goal, you are making the unfamiliar familiar. Now, I don't think you heard me, honey. I'm going to say that again. By the writing of that goal, you are making the unfamiliar familiar. Now, you need to understand something. A goal, by definition, by its first principles, a goal basically means something that you don't currently have. That's what a goal is. Because if you currently have it, it is not a goal. So if you break it down to its nuts and bolts, it is something that you are not used to. You are not familiar with, and the brain likes familiarity. Now, one of the ways for you to get familiar with something is through repetition. You are familiar with your boyfriend, you're familiar with your husband, you're familiar with your colleagues at work because you spend repetitious time together. Now, you are currently not familiar with the house you want to buy. You are currently not familiar with the $1 million you want to make this year. You are currently not familiar with that. And the best way to make the unfamiliar familiar is through the vehicle of repetition. So that means You write the goal down day and night. And I like what the gentleman said when he said, set an alarm for every 3 hours to visualize or write down your goals. It's very important. So you do that repetition over and over again. Here's what now begins to happen, and it's very powerful. Because your thoughts and your words are like magnetic signals, they go into the universe, they go into the world, looking for the material equivalent of what you are making familiar. I'll give you an example. I am currently in Lagos. I came to do training for a big real estate company to 1,000 of their staff. They flew me in from London. Now, here is the thing. Every morning in my journal, I write it down. I have journals high as this. I buy journals a lot. I use journals. And I want to encourage you, don't write your goals in a 40-leaf notebook. The goal will be angry with you. Some of you write your goals in stupid paper. So the goal is even upset. Say, why are you writing me this useless paper? I won't come to pass. You know, because familiarity and repetition activates the manifestation of that thing. So I say this thing to myself every single time that I do sales trainings. I call the name of the cities. I say, I now do sales trainings in Cape Town, in Joburg, in London, in Paris, in Dubai. These are countries the client I went to Johannesburg a couple of months ago. When the client called me to come and speak to his team on sales in Johannesburg, I was excited, but I was not surprised. You know why? Because I write it down in my journal and I declare it every single day. Now, as you do that, you set in law a motion. It starts looking for its equivalent because there is something called soulmate. We say, oh, this person is soulmate. Every soul is looking for a mate. Because you live in a spiritual world, everything, because even this water bottle is spiritual, it vibrates at a frequency. Your eye sees as a frozen container like this. No, but this thing is vibrating at a frequency. If your thoughts matches the vibration of this thing, you will pull into your human experience, into their experiences. Did you get that? So as you write down the goal and you keep talking about it, the goal is vibrating at a frequency. You also, as a person, you're also vibrating at a frequency. When there's a match of that vibration, it manifests. And I also love what the gentleman was saying, that people are always asking that, oh, when will this thing happen? The when is not your business. The how is not your business. Look at it as a system. Every system has an input and it has an output and also has a bottleneck to the system. You see, you cannot control the day of the salvation of your manifestation. You can't control it. What you can control is the input into the system. Did you get that? And the input into the system is every 3 hours you meditate. Every 3 hours, like he said to you, I never heard that concept before. I thought that was brilliant. Every 3 hours, you write the goal down. Every 3 hours, you declare the goal. You are inputting something into the system. It's a system. You have got, that's why in my WhatsApp group, the book we're reviewing in February is called Systems Thinking. Because everything is a system. And when you think in systems, it makes your life easier. And that's why I post content every single day on social media. That's why I get clients every single time. Because I understand that it's a system. I don't care when the goal will manifest. All I can control, I'm in power of, is to feed the system. So this morning, I did my 50 push-ups And I declared words over my children, words over my business, words. I'm imputing something in the system. Now, the day that the output will manifest is not in my control. And because God is merciful and kind, while you're waiting for the manifestation, He will be feeding you until that day comes. Now, I don't think you heard me, honey. I'm going to say that again. So you feed the system with your words every single day. Kenneth Hagin of blessed memory said that if you are willing to stand forever, you will not stand for a long time. It's one of my favorite quotes. I collect quotes a lot. I've got a Notion document that has 100 quotes. One of my favorite quotes of last year was a quote by, I think, an English Australian guy. And he said that the limits of my language is the limits of my world. He said, the limit of my words is the limit of my world. I thought that was powerful. I thought that was powerful. Got it? So you put it in the system. How many things have you put in the system today? When you keep putting it in the system, even it says, when the clouds are full of water, they will empty themselves as rain. It's in the scripture. So when the clouds are full of water, that means if you have put so much into the system, it will empty itself as rain. You get that? Great. So you write the goal that you are clear about your intention. Because every intention has a soulmate. It's looking for its soul. And anything you are looking for is looking for you. Get it? So you write the goal down every single day. You affirm it every single day. In reverse, affirm it in past tense. So if you want to travel this year on holiday, for example, you want to get a promotion this year, for example, here's what you start saying. I am grateful and happy that I have now just been promoted as the head of the team in the African office of the company that I work with. When I received the report, I was deeply grateful. Then what next thing you can do now, you want to take it deeper, you can ask it yourself, what kind of person do I need to become to achieve this promotion? Because we don't achieve goals, we achieve identities. The most powerful thing is your identity. Who do you need to become to achieve that goal? Because the reason why you are where you are right now, where I am right now, is because of the identity that we have of ourselves. You don't achieve goals, you achieve identities. You do get that? All right. I work out every day because my identity is that I'm a very disciplined person. I am an extremely disciplined man. See the way I'm saying it? It's my identity. You know, some people have an identity. See, that's how they talk. Take me as I am. The person is actually telling you who the identity is. I mean, I'm far away from home. I've done my 50 push-ups. I see myself as I've been married for 18 years. No side movement. And I travel around this world. I'm in my hotel room now. I've entered the room. I'm not coming out. I ain't going nowhere. I'm in the room and that's it. It's the way I see myself. You don't achieve a goal, you achieve an identity. So you ask yourself, this goal I want, who do I need to become? Who do I need to become? I need to be more disciplined. I need to be a reader. I need to be a voracious reader. You know what I began to say to myself recently? One of my new affirmations. I am a voracious reader of the Bible. I am a voracious reader of positive books. Voracious. I already read a lot, but now I'm declaring it more. That is my identity. What is your identity? Who do you need to become to accomplish the goal that you want? I am an amazing content creator. That's your identity. And guess what? Because you keep saying that, you will start attracting to yourself the people, the event, the tools, the resources that will affirm to you that that is the person that you are. Write your goals in reverse is a very powerful thing. Very, very powerful thing. You get it? So now, next time that you now start to visualize what it is that you want. Visualization is just basically having images of what you want to accomplish. So I use certain tools for my visualization. I have a Spotify playlist that I've been listening to for like 4 years. I wake up in the morning, I wake up by 5, you know, wake up by 5, I make my coffee. I don't play with coffee, I drink coffee every morning. I've done it for 13 years, I journal every morning with a cup of coffee for 13 years. I actually brought my coffee with me. I'm so bad I carry my mugs with me when I travel. Habits, right? Habits, right? So I drink 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and all day I drink mint or peppermint tea all day. So I'm drinking a peppermint tea right now because it's late. There's no caffeine in this. All right, so yeah, so that's it too. Then I play the music in the background. It's an instrumental. I can send it to me. I can send the link to the instrumental. You can use it as well. I play it and I sit down. I try to wake up. I wake up before everybody in my household. I have 3 children. My first son is 16 years old. My second son is 15 years old. And my last son is 12. My children said to me, Daddy, when you have 3 children in secondary school, you're officially old. So my last son just got into year 7. So in secondary school, he said, Dad, when you have 3 children in secondary school, you're officially old. Yeah. I say, yeah, yeah. So yeah. So that's how then I play the music and then I just began to visualize it. I see myself. When you are visualizing, there are 2 ways to visualize, and you can learn this a lot from NLP. There's what we call associated visualization, and then there's disassociated visualization. Let me explain it. When you are visualizing in a disassociated way, it's like you're watching yourself manifest that goal. It's like you're watching yourself on a TV screen. You watch yourself traveling, getting awards, success. It's very good. It's nothing wrong with that. But the most powerful form of visualization is the associated one. This associated is like you're watching yourself doing it. The associated one is that you are in it doing it. You will feel the feelings of it. Neville Goddard calls it assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If you read that Neville Goddard's book, you will call me and say, Coach, this book should be banned. The book, guess how much I bought the book to me? I bought that book for 24 pounds. 24 pounds. That's like 50K, right? Now, here's the thing about me, so bad. I didn't just buy, because I like physical books. I bought the physical book. It's as big as this. I marked it all over the place. Then I bought the Kindle version of the book on Amazon. So that when I'm traveling or I'm on the road, I'm on the train, I can carry the big book, I'm still reading it. I want to also give you guys a hack for reading. If you guys, I know that you guys read, yeah. You want to use this app called Readwise. It's the best app to take notes when you read. And with Readwise, even if you're reading a physical book, you can take a picture of the line that you're reading, it will upload it into the cloud. So like today, was it yesterday? I was just reading notes of books that I have read. So it's a very good app. It's the best $3, £3 I pay every single month. So you want to check that out. Readwise is very, very I'm good. And for if you want to know how to use ChatGPT with reading a lot, now that I've told you about Neville Goddard's book, The Complete Reader, if I'm you, you go to ChatGPT right now and say to ChatGPT, give it this prompt and say, I just heard about Neville Goddard's book, The Complete Reader. Give me a 200-word summary or a 100-word summary of the book. When he gives you that summary, you cannot make up your mind if this is a book that I want to buy in the first place. As far as I'm concerned, no book is expensive because I can make the money off that book if I read it a lot, So if I apply. the things that I learned from the book. So you visualize it. I do associated visualization and not disassociated visualization. You actually do it, but you don't know. How many of you here, with a show of hand, somebody hurts your feelings and you were visualizing how bad you felt, and you started to feel the feeling of bitterness, hatred, jealousy all over your body? You literally felt it in your body. Can I get a witness? Say, it's happened to all of us before. Or how many of you left the company of a person, you felt so in love with the person, or the experience was so good, as you were thinking about, you got goosebumps all over your body. You felt it. That's a very associated visualization. So you want to transfer that, to the dreams that you have. You generate the feeling. When you release that thing, it's very powerful. You actually laugh. Sometimes you actually start laughing because it feels so that you are there, and really you are there. Really you are there. Really you are there. And then you end it with gratitude. With gratitude. He speaks about, he says, be anxious for nothing, but by prayer and supplication, make your specific request known to God with overflowing gratitude. One of my superpowers is gratitude. I keep a gratitude journal. I'm grateful for everything, including this. I can write about this water tomorrow. I say I'm grateful that I had a great glass of water. Gratitude is a force. I walk around my house, I open my kitchen, I open my pantry, I open my fridge, and I speak to the food. I say, I am grateful that I can afford this. Like, because everything has ears in this world. In case you don't know, everything can hear you. Whatever you are grateful to God about, you tend to attract more things to be grateful to God about. I also want to recommend a video for all of you to go and watch. I recently interviewed Dr. Lanre Olushola. He's a mindset guy. That video has 5,000 views on my YouTube channel. Go and watch that video. He spoke deeply about this because he went to Oxford to learn these things as well. Yeah, the catalyst, he learned it in Oxford. I've actually interviewed Tumi in my podcast as well. So go to that episode and check that episode out. You will be happy that you did. And I hope this was pretty and useful to you. For those of you who want to take your sales to the next level and say, Coach, I want to join your WhatsApp group. It's very cheap. It's 100,000 for the whole year for 12 months. That's cheap, really cheap. I have people in the group that do 50 billion in real estate transactions. What happens in my group? We review a book every single month. I teach every single day. There's accountability. So it's a great community. If you want that as well, I can drop the link here in the chats if you're interested. But if you're not interested, that's also fine. And then thank you for having me, and God bless you. Any questions?
Wow, woo, Coach, before they go to question, they don't have choice. Please drop the WhatsApp link. And I'm not begging for discount. Initially, I wanted to say I will ask for discount, but I'm not asking for discounts. We are not poor people. You can do monthly, you can do quarterly, you can do...
The thing is that we've stopped the monthly thing.
Are you serious? Coach!
The group has gone haywire. We are doing big things now. So it's for anybody who wants to...
But really, 100K, and if I'm selling market, I wanted to say I'm not selling market. And you know that I hardly promote things on this channel, but what will help you? It will be a sin not to promote it. One of the things that I did not say about Coach Paul, I spoke about my book. The first time I heard Coach Paul, and I had to tell him, even though he was doing like this, I said, I told everybody that I found the Messiah. He was like, please, so, because it was an absolute mind shift thing. I used to pride myself about being technical. You know the way you pride yourself with nonsense. So, I had that nonsense arrogance and techie. He was the first person I would listen to that made me understand that I am a marketer. And until I understand how to sell myself, I am sleeping on a bicycle. And I realized that we are all salesmen. If you don't know how to sell yourself, now when people come to meet me, please coach me, I'm going for interview. What do you think you're doing in the interview? You are selling yourself.
Yes.
Your ability to sell yourself to anybody, you are a man here, you're a woman here. If you did not sell yourself to your wife or sell yourself, they won't buy you. So this is one thing that if you have to borrow money, and I think this is the first time I'm actually saying this, so you know that this is, and you guys know that I'm not a frivolous person. If you have to borrow money for this, believe in me, at least you followed me for a while, borrow the money. At 2025 December, come and tell me you did not get that. You did not at least multiply your investment by 5.
I have good news for them.
Okay.
So because I was coming to Lagos, my partner in the media business, she created a 3-month plan just for this.
Wow.
And there's a QR code. So let me share my screen. If they can just use the QR code, they can pay 15K for 3 months.
So what are you not saying?
So
please.
Point of that right now. Tola created a QR code.
Just
and that link it. And because if you check the website, it's not there. Only for this season while I'm here.
Okay. So I've equally captured the screen.
So you can continue, yeah.
I know this is a year that we are believing God, we are all believers, for great things. These are the things that will bring great things into your life. And I am not joking. I see a lot of people doing things small. And you are jumping up and down and looking for freebies. Up and down, everything must be free. Invest now, they brought it down to 15,000. So at least with that 15,000, invest that 15,000 in your life and come back and drop the testimonials to prepare your enemies. Now he has dropped a movie. I didn't tell Coach this, but I will tell him now. I tell people the reason why your life is, I will drop the QR code on our WhatsApp group. The reason why your life is where it is the people you are following, the people you are listening to, the people in your WhatsApp group. I am proud. You know me, I'm a very proud person. I'm proud to share to you the people in my WhatsApp group. So when I sit down and I'm checking WhatsApp status, I'm not seeing how Nigeria cannot be better, how people are about to go to whatever. I was looking at Coach Paul's WhatsApp status once, and he dropped this. I hardly watch movies. I don't have that kind of time. I'm doing too many things. And he dropped this like documentary, something about the rise of a tyrant. I think you remember the title.
Yes.
Because it is coming from me. And he was like, this is a very great sales, whatever. I know he has this very catchy way of doing, of summarizing things. My husband had to go like, you don't watch movies. What's this one you're watching? I said, I saw it on Coach Paul's status. And it changed my mindset again about brand. That thing that I said about identity. The thing was talking about Idi Amin, talking about
yes.
All this. Wow, now this thing follow a playbook, is a script. There's a pattern. Now, what am I saying? Everything you've heard here is gingering you, but you have to go and do it. You have to go and buy those books. You have to, thank you for asking for the QR code. You have to join the code. The other thing Coach does is he has a newsletter that he writes amazing things. If you are not,
every week,
it is because you are having no sense in your mailbox. That is why your life is still where it is. It's not yab, it's statement of fact. Because when I started this journey, I first had to clean the people I was following. So nonsense does not drop into my mailbox. The people I read, the people I follow, the people I listen to is shaping my mind and is constantly giving me the ginger to move ahead. And I'm seeing it manifest in their life. I've been following Coach Paul now for some 3-4 years. I've been following Kami for some 5-6 years. And I can assure you that these things that they say is what they are doing. As I round up, because I know Coach has to go. Yes, I was in the podcast. Yeah. And people are saying, you know, I make some statements like, you're so audacious about it. I say, I know. Like one of the things I say is that I know I cannot be poor in my life. Go possible. It's not possible.
I love it.
I was coming on Coach Paul's podcast, like I peppered my husband, I peppered him. I said, see, Coach Paul only interviews billionaires. You see me? Multi-join league. You had better treat me with care because you see the company of the people I'm on. Hey, show yourself. What am I saying here? It's consistency, and we have to keep being consistent with it. Okay, I'll drop the link for you to join Coach's mailing list in our general WhatsApp. Coach, my WhatsApp is already buzzing. I'm saying thank you. So please, can we have just one question? If not, we can call it a night. And Coach, I wanted to tell you that be treating me with care. Oh. The last time we were supposed to bring you, that was when you went to the Johannesburg. This time, you're like, no, somebody has paid for me. And I wanted to say, Coach, because every time I call you, somebody has paid. Somebody has paid. But thank you so very much for agreeing to do this for free. We do not take it for granted. Thank you for having us in your sector. So does anybody have any question? Because this year we are visualizing greatness and we are bringing it to pass. And as I always say, the only way you can tell Coach Paul thank you, you can tell Coach Komi thank you, is that you practicalize those things and your life becomes example of what they've taught.
That's it.
Okay, I'm not seeing any hands up. Alex, you know I like to hear your voice. Can we just hear you a bit from Canada? I don't want to set you up, but let's hear you. I will set you up at the back. Can we hear your voice, Alex? If you're speaking, we're not hearing.
Sorry, sorry. I was trying to get to the app. Thanks for inviting me once again. I know the first time I heard about Coach Paul was like 3 years ago when you brought Coach, and since then I've been following Coach on LinkedIn. So so Coach Paul, I've been, you know, all the newsletters that you talked about, I think on LinkedIn. So I used to get most of them, and it's been very amazing, you know, watching most of the amazing things that Coach is doing in terms of the sales and all that. So I know that first time you brought Coach, I listened to Coach together with my wife, and I think since then too, she's been following as well too. So it's been very amazing. Thanks for bringing the two. You know, the two people that spoke today, most of the things they talked about were the things that, you know, I actually stumbled into like just late last year. So this is like, you know, confirmation on direction to go and all that. So it's been very amazing. Thanks, Coach. I really enjoyed the section.
I want to recommend all of you to go and get that. You guys should review it in your Read NG community. Read that. You may not finish a book, but some chapters. The book is insane. Trust me. Okay. You come and say, this book is mad.
Yeah, even on YouTube, I've stumbled on good at Neville on YouTube, and some of the things.
It's dangerous.
You know, ahead.
The compilation of all his work.
Exactly, it's like something out of this world. Sometimes it can feel so esoteric, kind of something that is, you know. But yeah, you were right about all those. I think it's in the league of the likes of Jim Rowe and Nightingale. You know, when it talks to, you know, motivation and all that. So thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much, Alex. I'm going to harass you at the back, but something is telling me that you need a session with Coach Paul this year.
Yes.
We'll talk about, honestly, we'll talk about it. So thank you very much.
I need to introduce my wife to Coach. How we go expand this our bakery and spread the bread across Canada.
You see me, I believe me, you need Coach in your life. He will give you the ginger and the support to break
Yes, sir.
through. And we all need that for our next.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you
God
so
bless.
much, everyone. Okay, just 2 minutes to 7. Please, can we unmute our mic and we tell Coach? Thank you and good night. Let's unmute our mic and say thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you, sir, for your time. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sincerely.